Welcome back to Kiwi Bred. Time now to settle in here at the Oak Stud as we talk to Rick Williams about the success of the Oak Stud Broodmare band. So when Dick bought the place, 2002, how many mares were on the property and what was the property like?
It was just this 200 acres and there was 32 mares from memory and I think about 24 weanlings. Terry kept all the good race fillies at the time. Hillegrace, Damasceno were a number of very good fillies that he continued to race. And so Dick got involved in 10 years ago, 2002, and since then we've acquired 2 more blocks of land, so we have 350 acres over the road and 200 here. We now have 100 broodmares and of course a stallion roster of 4 and a significant racing team which we've basically bred ourselves and developed. We've imported a good percentage of our mares from Europe. I've tended to buy more out of Europe than America, but Australasia as well. And of course we've started to develop our own fillies, our race fillies, and improved the broodmare band as we've gone along.
What were the goals when you sat down with Dick and what did you look at? Was it a 10-year plan? How did you see the Oak Stud progressing?
Very much so. I mean, any breeding program is long-term and slow, and so Dick, he wanted it to be one of the leading farms in Australasia. We're certainly not there yet, but we're getting there, and the last 2 years we've seen the momentum grow, but whether you're breeding cattle or sheep or anything, it's a slow process, and of course with horses the benchmark is the winning post, whereas with sheep and cattle you can measure things with weight gain or wool growth or kilograms of milk fat. It's not quite as easy with horses.
What about the mares that you started with? Just Cruising was one that was part of the purchase price, wasn't it?
I had a good year. Terry and I went over to Sydney. I think we brought 8 mares, and one of them was Just Cruising, who happened to be a sister to Yachty, who was standing here at the time. And I think 7 of them produced group winners, and some of those families that we have now started from there. But Just Cruising produced Carrow Road that the McKees bought off us. It was Group 1 placed and in the Easter, and then of course we got Sea Change, won 7 Group 1s, then Keeper Cruising won 1, was probably unlucky not to win the 1,000 guineas, and we've carried on from there.
Sea Change in front, she's a length and a half clear. Kay's awake, looking to slingshot her late now. It's showtime, girls. Sea Change, here's Kay's awake. Sea Change just in front from Kay's awake, who's trying hard, but Sea Change, it's Kiora Dubai. Sea Change got the prize.
I bought a very nice mare at that same sale called Miss Trump. I think 2 weeks after I built her, Lonro came out and won his first start, and she's a half sister by Last Tycoon to Lonro. And then of course there was Nyello, and then all the sisters, the families just exploded since then. And we were very lucky. We bred Danesi Girl, who's the dam of Zarella, one of our current stars, and we bred Ivana out of Miss Trump, and we raced her with Mike Moroney's stable. She won 3, and we decided to sell her, and we sold her I think for 160,000, and then of course Miss Trump went and died, and I was lucky enough to buy her back a year ago in Folder Elvstrom for 35,000, and since then she's produced Stratana, who's 4 times I think stakes placed in Sydney as a 3-year-old this year. So we've got Danesi Girl, Ivana, and of course Diamond Deck was the star of the show. She was probably the most gifted horse we've ever bred here, and that includes Sea Change, but she's now breeding. Her first foal is a 2-year-old with Jason Bridgman, a filly. And we retained a colt by Darcy Brahma as well that we're going to race ourselves out of Diamond Deck. So it's probably the only branch of the Lonro family that's not owned by originally the Inghams, and now Doull, I think, own the whole family.
On the outside, Diamond Deck is absolutely swamping them with a big run. And the blue blood of the race races away. Diamond Deck gets special mission. Royal Tart got to 3rd. At the 150, Planet Rock, Capital Diamond. Zarella's lifting between the 2. Zarella, Capital Diamond, Quintessential, and Planet Rock. Zarella just in front and got there.
When you're going out to purchase a mare, what specifics are you looking for?
I look for great families. Great families tend to reproduce themselves over time. They might skip a generation, but they definitely reproduce themselves. So you're looking for that sort of thing. You're looking for race ability, or if you can. Now Miss Trump never raced, but all the other families had ability. She had a tremendous physique. She had a little bit of size and strength and a great head and eye. So, I suppose everyone's a little bit different, but with me, I'm always looking for mares that suit the stallions we're standing. If they're not going to suit genetically, I probably won't buy them. It seems little point in buying mares that aren't going to suit my stallions.
And then the families that you've got here, I mean, some of them are closely related, and the families that you've known and known for many years?
We've developed a few, and I mean, we bought some nice mares in from England that have turned out, you know, very, very, very well for us. And certainly Fairy Lights was a mare I purchased out of the Tattersalls December sale for, I think, 1,300 guineas. She had a bit of a heart murmur, and it put a lot of people off, but she was a half-sister to 3 group winners, and she came up with Kiora and Rock to Cams and Roman Chariot, and we're breeding from her. We've had great success, but I think Chantenay, we bought a warning mare out of England, and she left Chant, who was the champion 2-year-old of the year, and of course we've now got the benefit of a lot of these fillies coming into the broodmare bands, and they're young broodmares now, so gradually it lifts your profile, and you're getting more and more of those progeny obviously selling in the premier session rather than the select session at Karaka.
Where to for the Oaks stud from here? I mean, how much bigger do you want to get? What are the plans for the next 5 years, the next 10 years? Have you got a new set of goals?
No, not really, just to improve. I think we're at as the size, you know, it's economies of scale. I think with this sort of operation and the capital and the wages and the staff you need to be around that 100 mares to make the whole thing work, because obviously you get 70 or 80 foals and you're hoping to sell 40 or 50 of those with the x-raying and scoping and all the other things that happen now. A lot of horses just aren't suitable to sell at the end of January. A lot of people don't understand that. They're just not ready. Doesn't make them bad racehorses, just means they're not ready to sell. So you end up with quite a number of horses, and you can either ditch those in any way, shape or form. We tend to try them. But, you know, just to be better at what we're doing, I've got no doubt that as these fillies that have raced in the past, the Obsessions and the Smoulders join the broodmare band, our profile will gradually improve. But, you know, it's a matter of just refining things and improving. And for any stud farm to really make it nowadays, you need a stallion that is cutting it big, and Darcy Brahma's moving that way. And I've been really happy with Bachelor Duke's making slower progress, but he worked from a lot lower base. If I'd been able to get the mares to Bachelor Duke that I got to Darcy Brahma, you know, he'd be moving, I think, at a faster pace. And the mares, if you get half the genetics, a lot of people forget that. So opportunity's a great thing, and Darcy Brahma's had all the right opportunities.
You mentioned staff before. How easy is it to keep good staff, and what do you need to run a stud here?
Well, staff are pretty much everything. I've had McKee staff have just about all been with me for between 8 and 10 years now, and without them you really can't run a farm. It's too big an operation. They're in charge of the day-to-day events. They have a broodmare manager and a yearling manager, and really they control those areas of the farm. And so without them, it's really, I think you're going to struggle. So you've got to reward them, and rewarding them in different ways. But you've also got to remember they get tremendous enjoyment out of seeing our colours go around and win on the racetrack. That's a great morale lift, and the Quillandering the New Zealand Oaks this year was good for all of us, not just financially, but obviously, you know, the morale lifts dramatically when you're getting those sort of results.
Now Zarella, Quintessential and Post Response all make their runs. Capital Diamond getting up in behind these. Artistic over on the inside and Zarella over on the outside. The Oaks fillies are fighting out the Oaks. Wide out Post Response, Quintessential, Artistic and Zarella. Artistic, Zarella lunge. I think maybe Artistic. It's very, very close.
There's sure to be plenty more action on the racetrack for the Oaks stud staff to cheer about this coming season. Well, that wraps up another show, and we say a big thanks to the Oaks stud. Make sure you join us next week, where we visit Duncan Fell at Fairdale Stud and go back to Rich Hill to take a look at Pentire. We look forward to your company.